Hi everyone, it's Lauren. I apologise in advance. I have a terrible cold, so I'm not feeling or sounding or looking my best right now, but that's fine because today's video is not about me. What I wanted to do was recommend to you some other booktube channels that I've been really enjoying recently. I've gone for the descriptor of smaller booktubers, but I think size and the way we kind of look at people's channels is obviously all relative. Some of these people are very new to booktube and some have been doing it for a number of years, but all of their subscriber count is smaller than mine. So that's how I've defined it, but obviously size is relative, and you know, we're all on booktube, we're all small YouTubers really here, aren't we? So the first person I want to recommend is Jennifer at insert literary pun here. Jen's channel is, I want to say it's similar to mine. It's not really, it's more that we have quite a big overlap in the kind of books we read. So I do feel like if you enjoy the kind of reviews I do, you will enjoy the content that Jen makes. What she does that I really like is that when she does talk about a book, she goes really in depth about it. And what allows her to do that is in her monthly wrap-ups, instead of just saying these are all of the books I've read and let me talk about each of them individually, she tends to say these are the 3 best books I've read, and kind of not talk about the middling ones, which means you get great recommendations from her. But also when she's discussing books, either that she loved or that she hated, you know that she's got a real opinion about them, and she's going to get into lots of detail as to exactly what she liked and didn't like about the book. So that's very, very thorough reviews that she does. Next we have Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, and Emma often has a drink in hand when she's discussing her books, which can make for some very funny content. She's definitely developing her own sort of humorous style in terms of her videos. An angle that I really like with her reviews is that instead of just talking about what she's read, what she will do is look at her TBR video from the previous month, so what she thought she was going to read in April, and then she'll react to her own TBR, and you'll kind of get her hopes for what she wanted to do during the month and then what she actually did and whether she gets a star or not for fulfilling her own reading plans, basically, which I think is a nice way of looking back at your own reading. It's just a different spin on the monthly wrap-ups. Thirdly, someone whose surname, unfortunately, I'm definitely going to muller here, and that is Matthew Sharappa. Matthew does some really interesting review videos. From my perspective, he's always reading books that I have like never heard of, and I always get fantastic recommendations from him. He's obviously got a very different perspective of the fiction world than I have, and that's really great to see someone who's reading outside of your normal comfort zones. Something on his channel that I really enjoy is that he has a series called Build Your Own Recommendations, or BYOR, and that is where anyone can request a recommendation from him, and people are so specific. Like someone will say, oh, I really like the work of Anne Tyler, but could you find a book which is like that but also very futuristic and set in India? And he will find a book which is based on what you are enjoying, and he'll be able to recommend some similar fiction either based on the topic or the kind of authors you like, and it's amazing. And even though I haven't asked him for my own recommendation, I really enjoy the process of seeing what people want to read and then what Matt suggests to them. So I would highly recommend going and checking his channel out. Another name I am certain I will get wrong is Miona Korn, whose channel is called The Bookish Land, and she reads quite similar fiction to me as well, as far as I am aware, because I know that she's been reading a lot of the Women's Prize shortlist and longlist, and she's been taking part in the Feminist Orchestra, so I think there's a little bit of overlap in our reading tastes. But what I absolutely love about her channel is that she talks a lot about Chinese literature. She talks about it from all different angles and from a very introductory perspective. So she'll talk about Chinese fantasy authors or some very famous women authors in China, and she'll give recommendations not just to the authors and the kind of writing that they do, but which ones are in English translation. And I find that so interesting because I am very interested in Chinese literature, and I don't feel like there is a big push, from my perspective in the UK at least, I don't feel like we get a lot of crossover of Chinese literature from China in translation. Like there's obviously people in the States, I can think of obviously Amy Tan and Maxine Hong Kingston, and people who are writing in English, but I'm really interested to read some more Chinese literature in in translation, and Miona Corn is great at explaining all of that. And finally, we have a very new booktuber and also a very young booktuber, and that is Anthony Andrews. Anthony is 12 years old. Anthony's just getting started in the booktube community really, but what you can already see from the videos that he's uploaded is that not only is he really passionate about reading and about books, but he's also very into the booktube community. He's mentioned so many different names of people that he is subscribed to and people that he watches, and you can just feel his passion and his interest come through the camera, and he speaks very eloquently, very maturely, and it's just great to see someone of such a young age getting involved in this community, and it just puts a smile on my face when I see some of his videos, because I just feel like, yes, I feel like he's going to go far, like especially with the passion that he's exhibiting already. Like, he's going to be one to watch, definitely. So that's 5 very quick recommendations for you of some people that I've been really enjoying watching recently. I would love to have some more recommendations in the comment section for smaller booktubers that you love watching. Everybody's channel who I've mentioned is going to be linked in the description box below, so please go and check out their channels and show them some love. Tell them that I sent you. And I will be back again next week, hopefully, with another video. So I'll see you then. Bye.